Child sex trafficking and the systemic rape of children by members of the social elite is a disturbing reality. I'm not talking about that weird creep down the corner of the street with some candy and a rundown van. I'm talking about people in the upper echelons of society. Billionaire financiers, famous politicians, celebrity entertainers, even some famous scientists and professors participating in an organized pedophile ring where children are systematically abused, and it is happening right now at this very moment on a scale that you cannot even begin to imagine. In this video, I will present my case to you, not with opinions or theories, but with a compilation of evidence and facts that we know to be true. I'm not interested in speculation, and everything mentioned in this video is well proven and documented. I suggest that you take this issue very seriously, and I will leave it up to you, the viewer, to decide what to make of it. So please, bear with me and watch this video till the end, because I believe we all have a moral obligation to be informed members of society so we can protect those who are most vulnerable, our children.
Would you raise your right hand, please?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Could you please give us your name?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Is it true, sir, that you have what's been described as an egg-shaped penis?
For the uninitiated, I believe the case of Jeffrey Epstein is the perfect place to start as you make your way down this endless rabbit hole. The Epstein case shocked the world when an exposé published by Miami Herald launched this issue into the public limelight in 2018 and led to the prosecution and ultimately death of Jeffrey Epstein. However, while this case provides a glimpse into the secrets of the dark inner circle of societal elites, in the grand scheme of things, it is by no means an exhaustive document of the depravity and sickness that permeates our society. It is merely the tip of an iceberg, and it is where I will begin to lay out my case. Jeffrey Epstein was a successful investment banker who managed funds for affluent billionaires. He was extremely well connected to the people in the highest echelons of society, which included very wealthy people in very powerful positions. He himself owns an entire fleet of private jets, an island, and multiple mansions from New York to Paris. He was certainly part of an elite group of individuals who enjoyed a privileged life. In 2005, a 14-year-old girl and her parents reported to the police that Jeffrey Epstein had molested her at a mansion in Palm Beach. She said her female classmate at Royal Palm Beach High School had taken her to the house to give him a massage in exchange for money. This led to an investigation by the Palm Beach police that revealed a terrifying reality.
She's like, oh, do you need to make any extra money? I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, I can give you, like $200. It's this older guy in Palm Beach. He gets a lot of massages from girls, that was it.
Jeffrey Epstein was running a sex pyramid scheme which involved assembling a large cult-like network of underage girls, where with the help of young female recruiters, they were coerced into having sex behind the walls of his opulent mansion as often as 3 times a day.
They were recruited by someone who was adept at finding girls that would be willing to go to a house for a few $100s, and as it started out, give a man a back rub, but many cases it turned into something far worse than that, elevated to a crime, and a serious crime, in some cases sexual batteries.
My life would have been different if I would have never went to Jeffrey Epstein's house. It was just a dark turning point in my life.
On June 20th, 2008, Jeffrey Epstein received one of the most lenient plea deals of a serial sex offender in U.S. history, despite more than 30 victims coming forward with enough evidence to put him behind bars for life. Epstein was charged only with procuring an underage girl for prostitution, having struck an unbelievable deal with federal prosecutor Alexander Acosta. Acosta then went on to become the United States Secretary of Labor under Donald Trump's administration. Epstein served only 13 months in a Palm Beach County jail, of which 6 days a week were spent on work release in his high-rise office, with a limo chauffeuring him to and from jail. The deal on its face is incredibly favorable to Epstein. He should have been put behind bars for life. But if you look closer, things get even better for him. The United States also agrees that it will not institute any criminal charges against any potential co-conspirators of Epstein, including but not limited to Sarah Kellen, Adriana Ross, Leslie Groff, or Nadia Markinkova. The 4 women named had allegedly helped recruit underage girls for Epstein at his direction, but that 4-word phrase, "but not limited to," gave a free pass to anybody who would have helped Epstein acquire or traffic underage girls for sex. This is clearly an effort to protect some of Epstein's co-conspirators. Who exactly are they protecting? This deal, called a Federal Non-Prosecution Agreement, was sealed so that no one, not even his victims, could know the full scope of Epstein's crimes and who else was involved. How could the government agree to immunize any potential co-conspirators of an alleged serial rapist? Unless, of course, there is a conspiracy and some very powerful people are pulling strings behind the scenes.
Keep your eyes on the mustache. Go!
In 2012, the FBI confiscated a little black book from Jeffrey Epstein's personal butler, Alfredo Rodriguez. It contains the contact information of people in Epstein's inner circle, as well as a list of more than 100 victims that were in his sex network. The black book reads like a who's who of some of the richest and most powerful people in the world: politicians, actors, philanthropists, academics, and world leaders. His butler claimed that he feared for his life and wanted to steal something for insurance. He was later caught trying to sell the book for $50,000, and that's when the authorities confiscated the book. For contrast, this butler was jailed 18 months for attempting to sell the book for cash. That's a far heavier sentence than Epstein received. This black book, along with the flight logs of his infamous private jet, nicknamed the Lolita Express, paint a damning picture of the high social circles he was enmeshed in. It is alleged that Epstein used his plane to fly underage girls between his residences in New York, Palm Beach, New Mexico, and the Caribbean island of Little James. The pedophile billionaire has since been accused of having group sex with young girls on the plane, which he had custom-made for mid-air orgies, complete with beds and padded floors.
The abuse did not stop because we're in the air. 95% of the time, there was always sex involved. Jeffrey couldn't take a 2-hour flight without having to ejaculate. Like, that's how sick this man was.
Bill Clinton admits to have traveled on the Lolita Express 4 times, but it was later revealed in the flight logs that Clinton had flown on the Lolita Express 27 times.
He was on his plane 27 times, and he said he was on the plane 4 times. But when they checked the plane log, Bill Clinton, who is a very good friend of Epstein, he was on the plane about 27 or 28 times. So why did he say 4 times? And then the question you have to ask is, did Bill Clinton go to the island? Because Epstein had an island that was not a good place as I understand it, and I was never there. So you have to ask.
After serving his sentence, which is nothing more than a mild slap on the wrist, Epstein continued his predatory behavior, emboldened by his seemingly invincible status. He would openly fly underage girls into his private island, and according to locals, it was as if he was flaunting it, and the authorities did nothing to stop him. On the place dubbed Pedo Island, Epstein would hold large orgies with his wealthy friends, surrounded by underage sex slaves. Many people speculate that he also holds satanic rituals on these islands. The island is filled with weird-looking statues and even weirder-looking furniture. It even features a temple that resembles Circassian Mamluk architecture. Justice finally caught up with Epstein when a reporter from Miami Herald, Julie Brown, released a scathing expose on Epstein's crimes and the perversion of justice accompanying his arrest 10 years prior. The huge public outcry generated from the expose forced the authorities to investigate the case and take action. This is a glorious example of how a determined and brave reporter managed to overcome the odds and fight back against the rich, powerful establishment. But it wasn't always this way. A brave whistleblower from ABC News leaked a shocking footage that questions the existence of free media in the United States.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways.
ABC anchor Amy Robach was talking to a producer on a hot mic. She said she had all the details of the Epstein story 3 years ago, and her bosses at ABC News spiked the story. Why is this story not allowed to be aired? Who are they trying to protect?
She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. She was in hiding for 12 years. We convinced her to come out. We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton, we had everything. I tried for 3 years to get it on, to no avail, and now it's all coming out, and it's like these new revelations, and I freaking had all of it. I'm so pissed right now. Like, every day I get more and more pissed.
On August 10, 2019, Epstein was found dead in his cell. He died shortly after being found unconscious at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York City, considered one of the most secure in the country. The authorities ruled it a suicide by hanging. A man with first-hand information on the extent of pedophilia among the elites has conveniently killed himself. A lot of powerful people are having a good night's sleep after hearing this wonderful news. I'm sure all of you have heard of the viral meme, Epstein did not kill himself, made popular by conspiracy theorists online claiming that Epstein was murdered. Now that is a very serious claim. If that was true, it would mean that the elites are so powerful that they can literally get away with murder. So instead of jumping to conclusions, let's look at the facts. Number 1. Epstein was required to have a cellmate, but conveniently, he was left alone when his cellmate was transferred out. Number 2. Epstein was supposed to be put on suicide watch and checked on every 30 minutes. However, on the night of his death, nobody checked on him the entire night. 2 officers were charged with falsifying jail records and have pleaded not guilty. Their lawyers claimed that these 2 prison guards are made to be scapegoats in this entire saga. Number 3. There is no footage related to the suicide to be found because the prosecutors claim that the surveillance footage was erased due to a technical error. Ask any professional who has worked with security cameras and they will tell you that these things are built to work 24/7 and technical errors that cause footage to miraculously disappear simply does not happen. Number 4. A pathologist hired by Epstein's brother claims that injuries found on Epstein's body are more indicative of homicidal strangulation than suicide.
And that there were multiple fractures of the Adam's apple, the thyroid cartilage, and the thyroid and the hyoid bone that are more indicative of a homicidal strangulation than a suicidal strangulation.
Throughout the entire history of New York State suicide cases, there had been no instance where the body is found to have 3 neck fractures. Furthermore, the strangulation marks on Epstein's neck do not match the noose found in his cell.
Do I think he was killed? 100%. Yes, I do. Because he made his whole living blackmailing people. Yeah. were a lot of men in those planes, a lot of men who visited that island, a lot of powerful men who came into that apartment.
The whole Epstein case has been a shocking revelation. The sheer depravity that exists in our society is mind-numbing. The media, the government, and the very people who are meant to protect us have been complicit in covering up one of the biggest pedophile cases in history. The only way we can subvert this is to make our voices heard. We need to be vigilant, pursue the truth, and not allow our voices to be censored. We will remind them that we will not forget, and we will not allow corruption to prevail. Thank you for watching my video till the end. If you think the information provided in this video is important, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share it to as many people as possible. When the world is silent, even a single voice becomes powerful.